Okay, let's turn our attention back on datasets. There are two main types of datasets. They're called the map style datasets and the iterable style datasets. Now, you want to use the map style datasets when your data is static for the duration of training, which, to be honest, most training data usually is. And what I mean by that is if you have, let's say, 300 million photos that you're going to be learning a computer vision model from, those 300 million photos remain those 300 million photos while you're training. They don't change. You don't have new photos added or some photos deleted or whatnot. The second characteristic is when it's possible to index individual elements in the dataset. So for example, you might say, I want I want the photo at index 2,543,926. And it gives you the photo of that beautiful sunset that we saw. Now, every time you ask for that exact index, it will give you that exact photo. Kind of the corollary to that is that this way of randomly accessing the dataset should be easy. The cost of random access should not be very high in your underlying data store. Right? Otherwise, if you have to go through each and every photo to reach the 2 millionth photo, well, it's going to be a very, very slow training loop. So for example, you could have your e-commerce activity stored in some sort of an RDBMS, like we talked about a MySQL data cluster. Typically, accessing your order transaction history by the primary key of the order is super fast. Or you could have images on local disk, like we just talked about. Retrieving data from disk is fairly fast. Or you could have data that's even easier and faster to access. For example, your weather history data that resides almost entirely in memory because it's just pure text data. Contrast this with the iterable style dataset, which you want to use when your data is changing while training is in progress. And a good example here is the IoT sensor data that is maybe coming in through your Kinesis stream. So there is no notion of any history in the data. You cannot go back to data at index 1 when you're on data at index 10. Or maybe it is possible to index data, but it's not very easy and it's not fast to retrieve the data from the index of its element. And this can be true if you have data warehouse, which are typically not built for fast access. They're typically built for batch analytics.